Hey, what's up, everyone? You are listening to the Tomica Podcast Edition, episode number 6. I am your host, Kennedy, and this is a podcast that discuss the love and passion for Takara Tomy's Tomica cars, die-cast metal cars that has been ongoing since the 1970s till today, till the present. I mean, I think if anything is that, it's such a great time that people internationally now have alternatives to, what you can usually get in your country, thanks to more and more companies that are allowing services to sell Japanese products to anyone around the world. And also with Amazon, people being able to get these Japanese vehicles. But it also works the other way around as well, because for those of you who live in an area that's often where the stores tend to be hunted by scalpers or groups that purchase a ton of stuff for them and their friends and leave nothing nothing there for the regular collector who goes in there during hours after the crates have been put out. You can still get your stuff online through various Amazon sources, so definitely look at Amazon of other countries. And if you just remember, you just have to purchase a little bit more to make the shipping and handling work out for you. But just, if anything, just don't be too distressed if you cannot find something in your country. You can get it elsewhere, especially for Hot Wheels, Mattel, and also for Tomica. It may take some time, and you may not even have to spend a lot, because your currency may be doing better than the yen. But yeah, just enjoy the hobby, enjoy the thrill of collecting and playing and displaying, and that's the beauty of this hobby. And yes, you have people there who could care less about the cars and just want to make a quick buck, and just that's again, it's an open and free market. They can do what they want, but at the same time, for those of you who love cars, by all means, you can still enjoy it, and just don't let these people really make you sad and stuff like that. So I was at a local Target recently, and I was looking for the Godzilla. Still have not found one. And the other one is the Volkswagen Kombi vehicle, which I've never seen yet. But for the most part, I did pick up a Porsche and a Corvette. I think it was I know I got a Dodge Viper Hot Wheels, and then I also got some Matchbox, like a set, which was cheap. But again, I'm in it for the vehicles, and I did find a treasure hunt, and I didn't pick it up because I don't care for it. I don't care for super treasure hunts. I don't care for treasure hunts. I see them. I'm often, I see them, and I just leave them on the pegs. In fact, a fellow toy hunter that I always see at the stores, he saw me. He's like, "You're not going to pick that up?" I'm like, "No. Why?" He's like, "It's worth a lot of money." I'm like, I said, I don't collect for the money. I'm not a person who buys stuff and resells it. And of course they try to say, well, I'm not a scalper, I don't do that either. But yet they're like, they still buy them. And the only thing that gets discouraging, and I'll tell you this, is that he was asking me, so is there something you're looking for? Maybe I can help you, since you're a fellow collector and I see you around. I said, well, no, I just looking for some Skylines and Sylvias. He's like, you won't find them. I said, why not? He says, oh, I buy them all. I said, what do you mean? He's like, oh, those boulevards? Yeah, whenever those Skylines hits, because I go morning, night, I buy them all. He says, wow. I said, and he said, well, I do trades with friends and stuff, but I said, you don't leave any behind for people to buy? He's like, nah, those are way too valuable. He's like, I'm not going to, he says, I'm just buying them all when I see them. And I said, oh, okay. But he says you have to, you don't have much time because there's close to 100 other power collectors that you compete with, and they're even getting younger. There was an 8-year-old at a grocery store who said he was taking all the Hot Wheels from a bin, and he was telling me, oh, I'm looking for this car because it's worth $29 or something like that. And he was explaining this to me, and I'm just like, wow, this is the state of collecting right now. Kind of reminds me back in the day when the X-Men was so popular and Marvel was trying to capitalize it, and so they started releasing and oversaturating the market with X-Men related titles: X-Force, X-Men, New Mutants, X-Force, X-Factor, Wolverine, X-Man, Rogue and Gambit, Storm. It was just like, oh my gosh, this is becoming insane. And Marvel really, because they had Wizard, who tended to really hype it, was these covers, and people wanted every cover and were willing to spend so much money for them because they were highly coveted and they could resell them for a lot of money. And I remember that back in the day. And it happened again, with Marvel Legends when they used to do variants. And, people wanted those variants to resell. And so the thing is, it's been around for a very long time. Hot Wheels has had its treasure hunts for a long time. But the thing is that it depends on you as a collector. For me, I don't care for it. Other people love it. They love the thrill of the hunt and finding them, and it's all good. All power to them. But for me, it's not my thing. I'm in it for the cars, for the love of the cars, love of the vehicles. Liking the quality, and I can share that with you. And talking about it and talking about my favorites. I'm primarily a Tomica collector, and the reason being is that Tomica, unlike Hot Wheels or Matchbox, which will release possibly nearly 200 cars a year, with Tomica you're going to get 3 vehicles per month, unless you try to get the other ones like Tomica Dream or Premium Unlimited premiums, and then the Mickey Disney Motors. But if you're just collecting the main line and maybe a premium, you only get like 3 cars, and once in a while you'll see a 1 premium show up, or a Premium Unlimited, which is usually the movie ones. But the thing is that it's much easier to collect Tomica because there's also there's not many of them released per month, and it's not that difficult to find them. Even for those of you who are living outside of Japan, you can get them through Amazon Japan. You can go get them through Joss, through Yahoo Auctions or Mercari. And there's just many. Right in this day and age, we have various ways to obtain these things now, and I think that's one thing that's really wonderful because, if you really want a quality Skyline GTR, definitely go for the Tomica ones. Because if you're still holding out and waiting for a Hot Wheels, your Boulevard to show up at your store, I think it's just safe to say forget about it. Because I think what I'm seeing on other videos and what I'm seeing with the collector I talk to, if they see Skylines, they're going to buy them all. It's just how it is. They may say that they're leaving some, but really, do you know that for sure? Because that getting a lot of Skylines or Sylvias or those really desirable Japanese domestic vehicles, people are wanting to use these for power trades or to make money to get other stuff. So for those of you who say, well, I just need one or two and I'll leave the rest there, all power to you if you can do that, but not many people I know will do that. They would just pick them all up and sell them or use them as for trading power, because that's how things are these days. And for me, I'd rather not deal with that. I would rather just order from Japan and know that I'm getting a quality vehicle. And here's one thing that makes things different from Japan and the US. I noticed that when you watch a video for Hot Wheels, people are very, very, I'm trying to find a nicer politically correct word, adamant to get a card that's not been bended, doesn't have any scuffs, and so forth. There's a mindset that anything in the bad package or anything opened is not good. With Tomica, one thing that's really awesome is because the box version, you can open up, there's no glue on the box, and you can take it out. They're sealed in plastic first, but then once you remove the plastic, you can easily take the vehicle out of the box, out of the baggie, and if you want to store them again, put it back in the box. And if you want to sell them, one good thing is that that it would never ever go under list price. Now, as for the blister pack versions of Tomica, even if you open them and plan to resell them, they will never ever go down under list price. You could sell them for list price opened. That's the different mentality between Japan and the US, is that there are in Japan they tend to have consolidation stores or rental stores where people resell these items opened, and the starting price is usually, let's say that if you bought something for 380 yen, which is about $2.50 or so right now. But if you were to, sell, if you bought it for that price, you're going to sell it for that price. So it's not going to go below that. I think in the U.S., when it comes to opened items, let's say a child or someone who collected them over the years, they've been, even if they've been beaten up or scratched, they're pretty much considered. You either donate them or give them away to a family member who's young who wants them, or you throw them away. In Japan, there's a way of how do you say this? I think it's because those who introduced their kids to Tomica were collectors, that they teach about the responsibility of taking care of them, and also letting them know that if you do not want them, we can easily, get rid of them by selling it or donating it or something like that. Usually, if you were to say, even like this, even if you were to give it away to someone in America, Hot Wheels, and I'm not talking about a pawn shop or anything like that, like to a friend, hey, or a fellow collector, hey, do you want this one? It's it's opened, or here's a package that's kind of bent, but you could still have fun with it and display it. Some of them will just say, heck no, I want a mint card. And so that's the difference with Tomica and Hot Wheels. You will find a lot of shows that sell open Tomicas, and they will never sell them under list price. It's just how things are. They're usually well taken care of, really good paint, no chips or anything like that. And some of those resellers also really do a good job of cleaning them up as well. But that's just another difference of mindset between Japanese Tomica collectors and also Hot Wheels collectors. Yeah, just different mindset. But yeah, let's go ahead and check out the rankings. We'll start off with Yodobashi camera. Okay, looking at the Yodobashi sales right now, number 1, the Tomica C28 Miss Fritter from Cars. You're going to see quite a bit of Disney's cars in the top rankings. So you got Doc Hudson C8 Fabulous Type at number 2. At number 3, we have the Tomica World Parking Case. So I think that's pretty cool to have a case that holds 24 mini cars for children. At 4th place, we got the Tomica Premium, the Toyota MR2. I definitely ordered that just recently. We have a Hot Wheels showing up in 5th place, and it is the Hot Wheels DMC DeLorean. And some of you may be shocked to see that, considering you may see this on the pegs quite a bit. It's actually a very nice car, and I recommend picking that up if you can, especially to crack open. I know some of you are probably like, well, everything's all bent up, I didn't want it. Okay, 6th place, we have the Tomica Premium, the Honda Civic Type R. 7th place, we have the Ferrari, the number 46, Ferrari Daytona SP3. And number 8, we have the number 39, Honda Stepwagon. So these are the rankings for Yodobashi. Let's see if there is a Tomica ranking here that is different. Okay, yeah, this one's different here. So this is primarily all Tomica. So let's go to that right now. Okay, first place is Miss Fritter, C28. Second place is Dog Hudson at C8. And third place is the Tomica World Parking Case. Fourth place is the Toyota MR2 pre-order. In 5th place is the Honda Stepwagon. 6th place is the Nissan Fairlady Z Nismo GT500. Oh, that's such a nice one. I just got it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to get another one. It's so nice. And it's so cheap too. 7th place is the Takara Tomy. Let's see here. Number 6, Nissan Kicks. And then at 8th place, we have the Tomica Premium 12, the Lamborghini Countach 25th anniversary. I'm sure I said that wrong. But that is so cool. So that is Yodobashi camera. So the following is the big camera top 20 Tomica popular sales ranking. Data collection was from April 30th through May 6th. At number 1, the Tomica number 50, the Toyota Noah. First special specification, so that's the variation. They tend to go about 100 yen higher, but sometimes on Amazon, you might find it for double the price, unfortunately. So I tend to get for the regular ones. The number 2 is the Toyota Noah, number 50, the regular box version, which is maroon. Third place is the number 26 Isuzu Elf sign car. And that one is not yet available on Amazon. I am waiting. Again, Isuzu Elf sell like crazy. You kind of have to jump in on the day before release. Number 4, Toyota MR2. This is the premium release commemorative specification. So you have the white one, and then you have the red one. The red one is what is at number 4. And again, costs a little bit more than the white one. So 5th place is the Chikawa Rabbit Usagi for Dream Tomica SP. And 6 is the Hachiware. And the 7th place is the Tomica SP Chikawa. So a lot of these Chikawas, I know there's a lot of people very interested in those, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do sell out. It's a very popular series for kids, and I think for parents, I think these things are going to be sold really well. But I can tell you right now, when you see the SPs, you tend to go for them because those tend to sell out quickly. So these three, don't be surprised if they sell out very quickly. 8th place, we got the Toyota MR2, number 40. At number 9, we have the Tomica Premium Unlimited 03 Wild Speed Supra. Wild Speed is a Japanese name for Fast and the Furious. At number 10, the Wild Speed 1999 Skyline for Tomica Premium Unlimited is at 10. And you know what? This was on sale on Amazon Japan. Many times for about a week or two, I could have pulled the trigger and said, okay, I'm going to get this. But you know what? I'm going to tell you the reason why I didn't get it. The reason why I didn't get it is because I tend to avoid movie releases that are... I think I mentioned before, I tend to go for more of the Japanese releases if it has a big Japanese tie-in. So the Seibu Densetsu, not the Seibu Densetsu, was it that? The police one, drama one, I thought that was warranted. Meitante Conan, Detective Conan, the anime series, was well warranted. Initial D is well warranted. But the thing is that I think it's because I see the Fast and the Furious stuff being released so much in the US that I'm like, man, do I really want to get an unlimited one and pay this much for a vehicle? But so I was debating back and forth, and next thing you know, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go get the Skyline. I said I collect Skylines, I'm going to get it. And I went in there, and the price went up. So actually all the Skylines for Wild Speed have went up. But I think with the new movie, the Fast 10 movie, or Wild Speed 10, I guess if you're in Japan, they tend to, it's a popular series, and yeah, I can understand. It's really big. So I think even in the U.S. you hear people trying to look for the Fast and Furious set. So I think I've seen it once. I usually don't bother with that, but I might have to pick it up again. I love Skylines, and if it ends up that it's really nice and people really love it, I'll probably just get it from Japan. It's just I don't mind paying, if I have other things in my cart, I don't mind adding that on there. I mean, again, you can order at any Amazon around the world. You just keep on checking it out. Definitely check out Amazon UK, Amazon France, Amazon Germany, and Amazon Japan to see what you're looking for. If there's a certain car that you can't find in your area, just try to look elsewhere and see if you can find it. Number 11, we got the number 175, the Disney Tomica Parade Winnie the Pooh. At number 12, we got the Disney Tomica Parade Donald Duck. At 13, we have the Kurilakuma Special. 14, we have the Shin Kamen Rider Cyclone, the first version, Kamen Rider version. At 15 is Rilakuma. 16th is Mater, the C-37 President type. 17th is Shin Kamen Rider version 2. 18, we got the Honda FU655 Lucky box version. So you get the little person pushing the lawnmower, which is really interesting. Number 19, we have C-15 Mac from Cars 3, the movie. And 20, we have the Ferrari Daytona SP3, number 46. So that is cool. So I noticed that people have been wondering about ordering on Amazon Japan, because some people feel that it's a different language. how do you order from another country? Well, for one, you sign up like you do on Amazon USA. You would do the same thing on Amazon Japan. You pretty much can link accounts, I believe, and you could also turn on automatic translate, and it'll ask you, do you want to convert to dollar or yen? You want it to do to the US dollar because the US dollar is doing better than the yen if you are living outside of Japan, or whatever your currency is. And then pretty much you order, and then when you order, you have a choice of one thing that's a good thing about Amazon Japan is they do points. So the more you buy, the more you can use those points to take money off the actual cost. The second thing is that all orders are done by DHL. DHL is an international company. It's a German. Well, it was an American, but in Germany, a German company now owns it, and they. You probably seen the big yellow delivery truck. They do international, and you will want to visit the website and for DHL and create an account there, because you can tell them how do you want it to be delivered. Does it going to require your signature, so you need to go to a location to pick it up? Or do you want them to automatically drop it off on your front door? It all depends, especially your living situation, especially if you live in a safe place or not. So, but yeah, they are very good. They're very quick. Amazon Japan tends to ship out everything very quickly. As I mentioned, when you get everything in your cart and when you ship, they'll ask you, do you want to go by global priority or global standard? Sometimes it's way cheaper to go global priority. I go global priority for everything because the shipping costs and the global priority costs, there's not too much of a huge difference. And the difference is getting things within 3 or 4 days versus waiting almost like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So I definitely recommend going with priority. The other one is that Amazon in general, they do well packaging. It's just the problem is that I notice with the boxes that Amazon uses now, it's more of a lighter type of cardboard, not the thicker type. But I think that's they're trying to make things more to cut down on the consumption of cardboard, especially the heavier versions or so. Maybe it's cheaper, so I don't know. But for the most part, it's easy to order. I have not had, of the many times I've ordered from Amazon Japan, I think only once, and I think I posted a video about that. It was one of the transports that came out quite beaten up. But I figured, what, there's not much complaining you could do, especially if it's overseas. But the way I look at it is if you have 99 successful and then one that came out not so great, then yeah, I'm not going to complain really. The contents, and again, while it's great to have the packaging and everything perfect, I was in it for the vehicle itself, so it was no hurt for me. So here it is, an example right here. Everything is translated. Amazon, if you select the translation on Amazon Japan, it'll show everything in English. And you can see here, you got the blister package, and then a first edition version, and then you get the box version. You can again, I recommend having Google Translate, on your browser if you don't understand or can't read Japanese. It's definitely worth it. And you notice that when you start adding things on your Amazon, like for instance, you'll see these Daytona. If you put 550 yen, sometimes they take off like 50 yen sometimes. So it's really interesting because it seems like you get an even better deal through Amazon Japan. But again, if you want to know also what the costs are and the conversions, you could just type in like the first one, the Ferrari at number 46, 550 yen. You can just type in on Google 550 yen to USD, or if you're using US dollars, or your whatever foreign currency you're using, you can find out the conversion rate. And yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it, because right as of right now, the foreign currency is doing much better than the yen. So you want to take advantage of it while you can. Just remember also, June 1st, Takara Tomy will be increasing the prices. Not much for the vehicles, but the box sets. So I think that's more for retail. Amazon Japan tends to discount things regardless. So, but it'll let you know if it's a blister package or a box edition. Usually, yeah, you could see it right there. Like right now, this Ferrari set's 1502, which is like what, $13 or so. That's a great price. But don't be surprised if this goes up to 2200 or 1900 by June 1st. You can see right here, this is the popular Isuzu Elf. I got it at 450 yen, but as mentioned, Isuzu Elf sell out so quickly that sometimes you might have to pay a little bit more, because they're very popular vehicles. And then you have also other vehicles here, such as the McLaren, Nissan. There's just so many things. You just have to look at what type of vehicle you're looking for, and then it should show up on the search. So let's go ahead and do Tomica, and let's see what is shown here. There we go. You'll even see these hard to release gold plated vehicles being sold. Even some of the older releases, some third party seller will be selling it, and it will also let you know if that seller will be willing to sell things outside of Japan. But just be careful, because some of these third-party sellers tend to boost up the shipping. Some may want 40,000, like almost like $35 for shipping. I'm like, no way. So just remember to be, just to watch over that. What's my rule of thumb? My rule of thumb for cars for Tomica, I will never spend over 900 yen for a normal box version. I will not, even for for premium, I have went close to 20. But the thing is that usually, I usually do not get anything over 900 yen. 363, 456, 345, those are good prices. I like that. The Curious George is 1270. Again, that for the dollar, that brings it down to like $10. I think that's okay for something that came out, a while back. So there's going to be some type of appreciation in costs. So, but mostly everything you could get it for 364, even for this bus right here, which is wonderful. You got the Giga Potato, 2015 at 345 yen. I might have to get that for my collection there. I don't really go for the crazy ones, but I am trying to complete the numerics right now. And so, as you can see here, this is a set that's going to be very, very popular. It's coming out. This one right here, this is a great price for these food trucks. I don't think you can see it, but no, you can't see it. I'm looking at something else. It's not showing everything. Oh, you got the construction set that just went back on sale. Usually you don't see that. But yeah, you just have to keep on going online and seeing what is available, because you might find something that has not been released for a very long time, available for a cheap price. So you just have to keep on checking. Like this is the main thing right here. This Naha City Fire Department Hyper Mist Blower car. It's now 677 yen, which is not that bad. It's about what, $4 USD for a long version. They tend to go about 700 version, and sometimes they want you to buy two. So I don't do that. But yeah, that is Amazon Japan for you and ordering from it. Okay, let's get to some reviews right now. It's been a while, but quite a bit of few stuff here to review right now. So let's try this patrol car. This is the Tomica #1 Nissan Skyline GTR, the BNR34 patrol car. You can get this pretty cheap. Not in box format, but you can get blister packs. I think for like $2.50. It's like 380 yen or so. So let's take a look at it. So Saitama Prefecture, which is above Tokyo, north of Tokyo. It's a place where a lot of people live. I guess you could say people who do not want to live in Tokyo and want to live in a more affordable area. You see a lot of people living in Saitama Prefecture or Chiba Prefecture or even Kanagawa Prefecture, so they can commute to Tokyo for work. And I think it's more cost effective. A lot of friends of mine are doing that. So you could say that in this prefecture, they are known for putting these events that show off their patrol cars, but they tend to use Nissan Skyline GTR, Mazda RX-7s, and Toyota Crown patrol cars. So this is a very popular vehicle that, in fact, let me bring up a picture of the actual vehicle here. Okay, I think this is a good one here. Let's see if it... No, it does not. Okay, let me try this real quick. There we go. Okay, so this is the actual Saitama vehicle right here. One thing that distinguishes it from other patrol cars is they use this bug screen right here. So you have that that placement of that on front of their vehicles, and their lights go in like a little V shape. So you can see it. It's well produced here for the Tomica edition. You got the 854 right there, and also if you're wondering what this says right here, in a way, it's if you use Google Translate, it's not going to really work, because to say this, to read it out, is not going from left to right, but right to left. So what you have here is Saitama Prefecture, and then police on the right here. So that is a translation of that. And Tomica has such a long history of releasing police cars way back in the 70s. And there are probably hundreds of patrol cars that they have created. But fortunately for this one, an old model was not used for the molding. This is a brand new molding to replicate the patrol car from Saitama Prefecture. And again, you get the transparent bug screen, and you can see the guard on the hood. It appears that the mold was possibly, I'm saying possibly, taken from the Tomica Premium BNR34 GTR. Then that mold was then used to make a patrol car, and then another variation with a different color and wheels that would make it work for the main Tomica line. So as you can see here, the wheels are much different than what you're usually accustomed to seeing from a police vehicle. And that 854 is for the Misato Garrison, and this police car is usually active on expressways such as the Tohoku Expressway E4 and the Kanetsu Expressway E17. And I could say that the doors and trunk does not open. The car does feature suspension like most Tomica vehicles do. And if anything, you can definitely get a great deal on Amazon Japan right now. Again, it's in the blister package, but that's really up to you. Again, if you are really concerned of if the blister package is going to be bent or not, then don't get it. This is for people who want to crack it open and have fun. Amazon Japan usually does take care of the blister packages, but the thing is that you can never guarantee that it's going to be perfect. So if you are concerned about that, then don't get it. They do not have a box version, and if there is a box version, you're going to be paying more than double the price. So yeah, just avoid that. One thing I do like about here is you can see the lights and the police GTR logo. I think that's a very nice touch. You got the clear headlights, which is a plus. I like the shield, and then you get the grill, and just the detail of that is really nice. I know some people, they said they like to modify the spoilers, possibly paint it black, but if anything, the reason why I did get it is because it's not something that you usually see released from Tomica, especially with the bug guard, and knowing it's based on an actual vehicle. That's actually pretty cool. Nothing there, but let's go back. But yeah, this is a very cool vehicle, worth owning, and not expensive at all. Another vehicle that I am very happy. Oh, by the way, that last review was for a mainline Tomica number 1. This one right here is Tomica Premium number 39, the Nissan Cell 80. So when Nissan built a sister model to its popular Nissan Silvia line, the sister model, known as the 180SX, which is a 3-door hatchback coupe type passenger car, was introduced back in 1989, and they people wanted to create a hybrid of the Nissan Silvia S13 and the 186 because they use similar parts, and so the creation was called the Nissan Cell 80. The creative idea came when supposedly a tuning car enthusiast damaged the front of his 180SX, and because retractable headlights were expensive to repair, because the S13 Type Silvia uses the same model number, and there's interchangeability of parts, were much more easily accessible for the S13, and it was much cheaper. They started using those Silvia S13 parts on the the 180SX, and it became popular. So a tuning shop in Nagoya, Kids Heart, where D1 driver Tezuka Tsuyoshi is based, they were given the go-ahead by Nissan to create a limited number of 500 Cell 80 vehicles for a Nissan dealer, and Nissan treated it as a Nissan genuine product, and that could be serviced at Nissan dealers nationwide. And yeah, this car features like N1 lights, side steps, special logos, Nismo LSD. The manufacturer's genuine Cell 80 is possibly the only vehicle approved by Nissan to use a trademark registration. And for those who want one, market price about, for a used, maybe for a new one, is up to 980,000 to 2.2 million yen. So it's quite, it's not that expensive for used ones, actually. If you can find it for $10,000 for a used one, that's great. But they tend to go about, used car prices about 700,000 yen. So that would be probably about $6,500. $6,500 in USD, and up to 1.9 million yen. So it varies. You can find these cheaper because, again, they're older cars, but they're highly collectible. Unfortunately, I don't think you could bring them to the US, but I do know that people who owned the North American versions, they were able to do something similar, but not a Cell 80, but more like a Cell 40. So anyway, I think the car really gained popularity is through the popular manga anime series Initial D, because there was a character called Sato Mako who drove it, and also a popular race car driver named Sukamoto Nanami, who's a big fan of Initial D, took a photo with the Sil 80. Let's see if I could find that one. Maybe I could find it. Maybe I can't. Let's see. Because, yeah, there we go. Let's go to her account. Not that one. Let's go to this one. Here we go. Okay, so this is a popular race car driver, Tsukamoto Nanami. And this is her in front of a Sil 80. But yeah, if you look through her site, it's her. She's a big Initial D fan. She's a racer. She loves cars. And definitely a vehicle that is just, I really like it. Especially look at the spokes on that. I mean, just the overall look. It's very cool. So, let's see here. Gonna go back. So here it is right here. The package with a 39. Open it up. The car in the baggie. Release the baggie, and here you go. Car doors open. Get those gold spokes, which I like. It's really well made. I really like it a lot. It's just again, that's one of the reasons why I like Tomica. They know how to really, especially Tomica Premium. They're cost effective, and you don't have to worry about them being purchased all by scalpers or modifiers or customizers, whatever you want to say. But the thing is, that's what makes Tomica so wonderful. They make a lot, and you should be able to get yourself one or two depending on what you want, because they are sold everywhere throughout Japan. So, but that is the Sil 80, and yeah, as mentioned, that this vehicle. Where's that rear one at here? Do I have it? I don't think so. Oh, here it is, right here. I like how it has that 180 SX in the back, and then of course the Nissan Silvia parts on the front. But it's a very cool cool vehicle. And here's another one. Let's see if I can get another picture of this vehicle in real life here. Yeah, here we go. So this is a Best Car Web in Japan. There you go, right there. Another one with gray instead of gold. That's just such a sweet vehicle. I really like it a lot. Okay, so the next one I want to review here is the Tomica Premium, the Tomica Transporter Nissan Fairlady Z 300ZX Twin Turbo. Back in 1969, Nissan brand Datsun was they released the Fairlady, and there was a vehicle called the Datsun Z, and the goal was to create an affordable car comparable to European luxury GTs, and to also expand the Datsun brand in North America. And president of Nissan at the time, Katayama Yutaka, he planned the development of the first generation Z cars, and he requested for engineers to build the car like a Jaguar E-Type, which was a sports car, which was it became instantly popular, and it set a sales record like 550,000 units sold worldwide. So I think that was pretty awesome. As for the 300ZX, it became a popular sports car, and in Japan, it would be known as the Fairlady Z, and was sold between 1983 to 2000, and was also sold in the U.S. from 1984 to 1996. The Fairlady Z was created for better aerodynamics and more power. And the 300ZX had a catchphrase, "I want to drive a sports car." In North America, which was its main market, it gained recognition as a luxury sports car that rivaled European sports cars, such as the Porsche. And the Fairlady Z is now in its 6th generation. I think it's called the RZ34. But the classic 3rd generation and 4th generation vehicle, the 300ZX of the 80s, will probably be remembered, best known for the Japanese engineering. Fairlady Z pretty much had a wide and low proportion style, 60-degree ultra slant headlamps, dynamic cabin, forward silhouette, and short overhangs, which symbolized good maneuverability. So this is the vehicle. And yeah, this is the one that I kind of got a damaged box, which kind of sucked, but it's okay. Nothing was lost. Um, it was kind of opened, but everything was in the baggie. It's okay. The vehicle, the transport is not a real vehicle. So I think if anything, you're pretty much buying it for the car, and the transporter is more like a bonus. But one thing that I like about this transporter is it's nice and heavy. I mean, it's when you hold it in your hands, it's like, wow, this is true die-cast metal right here. And I really thought this was really, a really cool set to get. So I have no problems with it. In a way, it kind of looks like a Fuso, and it's just very nice. I really like it. But I like the metallic silver paint. And as for the Fairlady Z, I think it's just well made. It's well painted. There's no major gimmicks. It's just suspension, but you do get those fly wheels, and I like it when there is black between the spokes right here, and it's not all silver painted in one color. So I thought that was pretty cool. You get the black tires. The 300ZX is seen on the rear, and Fairlady Z on the license plate. The headlights and taillights show plastic and it's not painted over, which is cool. So you can see right here. But yeah, I think it's really awesome. It's important to note that the Fairlady ZX Twin Turbo was released as number 9 for the Tomica Premium in yellow back in 2017. A black version was released as a Tomy Mall Original Limited Edition. And there's also a regular version number 15 in red that was released way back in 2013, and also a Tomica number 44 version via patrol car. This one is a pretty much the Tomica Premium 9, but in red instead of yellow. That's why you can see the 2016 right here underneath. But yeah, this is really an affordable set. You could probably get it for like 17 or 16 bucks. It's about 24 yen. And yeah, it's a really, really good set. There's 3 of them that you could easily get. The other one, the 4th one, unfortunately, you have to get through Tomica Mall. But if you want the other 3, it's definitely worth checking out. But yeah, that is the Tomica Transporter Nissan Fairlady Z 300ZX Twin Turbo set. Definitely, I recommend it. Yeah, it's really cool. Okay, while I tend to do primarily Tomica reviews, I will once in a while spotlight some Matchbox and Hot Wheels once in a while. And one thing I want to talk about is the 70th anniversary 95 Nissan Hardbody D21, and there's a secondary one called the MBX Cycle Trailer. So the 95 Nissan Hardbody D21 is a small size pickup based on the 4x4 system, and this is a JDM vehicle featuring 4 full-size doors and was well loved in Japan. And it was retired in 1997 because Nissan was unable to pass current emission regulations with its V6 engine. So Nissan then went on to focus on the Nissan Frontier. But the D21 featured a double-wall truck bed, and one of the best-known D21s was the Desert Runner. So right here it's a Cycle Runner, but usually for this color, this red, white, and blue, it would often say Desert Runner. And it was released back in 1988 as an off-road truck, which was designed for driving through sand or mud, and allowed people to order bigger tires, skid plates, a front bumper guard, roll cage with lights, tailgate net, and much more. So in a way, I was a little surprised because this is part of the Matchbox 70th anniversary, and they call it Cycle Runner, when really it's pretty much the Desert Runner. But this is one thing I'm going to show you. what I like about Matchbox releases. And I know Matchbox tends to be overlooked by a lot of collectors, but they really shouldn't, especially during the 70th anniversary. They've been releasing really awesome vehicles. And one thing you'll always notice with Matchbox always comes with the side mirrors. Hot Wheels and even Tomica do not include side mirrors. Matchbox does, and that really distinguishes them. Another thing I like about the vehicle is that they include the windows from the sunroof and even the back windows. You'll notice a lot of Tomica releases, and even with other die-cast metal, sometimes they just leave the back solid. But I love what Matchbox is doing with this. This is probably one of the highlights for me in terms of the 70th anniversary releases. It is so well done, especially with the tires, the spokes. It is just very nice. And it's a Matchbox release. You probably could find it at your stores, especially your dollar stores or so. Definitely check it out. It's a Nissan D21. It's just, my gosh, this is really awesome. And there is a commercial. Let's see if I can get that commercial here. Okay, here we go. Not this one. Let's forward. This is the old school commercial right here. 1988.
After winning some of the most demanding races in the world, we feel more than qualified to take on the toughest race of all. The human race. Introducing the Nissan Desert Runner, our new limited edition, specially equipped 4x4 hard body truck. See it at your Nissan dealer.
That is so cool. But yeah, that is the I like to call it the Desert Runner. I wish they just called it Desert Runner, but I understand why they call it the Cycle Runner, because they included that MBX cycle trailer, which came with this set. And you get the same colors right here of the red, white, and blue. And then, of course, you get the motorcycle, which can't come off. But look at this detail on the truck bed. You get the wheel, like a chain right here. Here you get the motorcycle, which is not great. But the thing is that I thought that was a really nice touch to have the hitch and this trailer attached. And I thought it was a really, really good touch to have. So I think that was really awesome. But yeah, definitely. Let's see if I have another image here. Here we go. Continuing from the review, more images of this MBX. Let's see here. But man, I just really love this livery. It's just really awesome. This red, white, and blue. Of course, the Matchbox 70th year anniversary. You'll see the 70 right here. You definitely want to pick these up. I highly recommend it. I know that for some people, Matchbox is something that may not have the same esteem as Hot Wheels, but I will tell you, Matchbox is a great brand. They had some slowdown, especially when Mattel bought them, and Mattel may promote their Hot Wheels brand more than anything. But for those of you, this 70th anniversary should not be overlooked. This truck right here, the Cycle Runner, and this, you don't have to get this one, but still it makes sense to, because they're the same color and it works. I highly recommend getting it. It's definitely awesome. The overall look of this, it's really one of the highlights for me so far with the Matchbox 70th anniversary release. And remember, these vehicles you could get cheap, so you could get this under $3 USD if you get them in the US. So definitely pick one up if you can. Okay, next one to review. This is the Hot Wheels Premium Car Culture Team Transport Nissan Silvia S13 and the Sakura Sprinter. So, having reviewed that Tomica Nissan Transport, which came with the Fairlady Z300ZX, I was at Target and I saw that they received the transport featuring the Sylvia and the Sakura Sprinter. And I will say that, for me, I've said it many times, there are a few, they're just vehicles that I just are must-buys for me. Nissan Skyline, Nissan Sylvia, Nissan 180 SX, the Cel80, the Isuzu Elf, and the Ford, Hino Motors trucks, AE86 Terreno, Toyota Hiace, Honda Civic, GTR, and NSX, Toyota Supra, Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution, the Fuso, Subaru WRX, BRZ, and Mazda RX-7. These are things I tend to pick up whenever they're, released, and Sylvia is one that I had high hopes for. I really like the vehicle. Always liked the vehicle. And, okay, let's just get to the review here. When you think about premium, especially, when you heard it from like with Tomica, from the mainline and the premium, you think it's better, much better with detail and paint. For those of you not familiar with the Nissan Sylvia, it's one of the most popular small sports cars produced by Nissan. The car was made not long after Nissan worked with BMW consultant Albrecht Graf von Gortz on a special project, and that collaboration would lead to the Nissan Sylvia back in 1964. Fast forward to 1988, the Nissan Sylvia S13 was introduced in mid-1998, and it was so popular that it won 1988 Car of the Year in Japan and would be produced from 1988 to 1994. And again, it gained popularity as people would take the S13 Sylvia front end parts, which were compatible with the Nissan 180 SX rear end, and the Cel80 was born. But for die-hard, die-cast metal mini-car collectors, Nissan Sylvia was also very popular for those of us who collect Sylvias to own. So I was quite thrilled to see the Hot Wheels release, that it was coming out with the Sakura Sprinter this year. And the Sakura Sprinter is not a real vehicle. It's a Hot Wheels original design based on a Japanese vehicle that looks like a Hino Motors truck. But, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you with this one. How would I say it? It's probably one of the worst Sylvias that I've seen released. I was very disappointed. Because here's it. This thing had so much potential, but the paint. It's, I don't know. It used like a thick gloss. I've seen Hot Wheels do an amazing job with its metallic paint, but this one, it seems like they went for something thicker, and it just doesn't look right. I don't know what to say. It just looks bad. I was shocked. This is not something I expected, because while the purple and that little tannish color helps bring out the vehicle from its dark metallic glittery exterior, the paint, this type of paint really is just not that great. I mean, the Hot Wheels 2020 Nissan Sylvia S13 HW Speed Graphics vehicle, the regular mainline, looks better than this. I mean, even the truck itself is affected by this type of paint. It's just... It's one of the few, there you go. It's one of the few moments where I had such high hopes, but then the paint job just really, it doesn't even make it look that great. It's a shame because the molding, the whole concept of the vehicle, it's awesome. I just wish they went possibly stuck it with a simple color, maybe white, black, blue, or red. And even if they did a metallic finish that Hot Wheels is known for, but this one, it's I don't know what to say. It was just a disappointment. Yeah, I mean, if it's on the bottom as well, it's just, you see, it looks like it's even caked on to the wheels. This paint, it's a shoddy job. I'm sorry to say that, and I know people have high expectations and want to get this set, but I will tell you that the overall vehicle and the detail of the certain paints, like the purple and the things they put on the vehicle itself, is good. It's just the selection of the main color is just bad. It's just disappointing. I don't know. I just wish they used the LB Super Silhouette Nissan Silvia S15 paint scheme with the black with the gold trimming, which would given it a wow factor. But this paint right here, it's like it was more like a DIY paint job. It's just, I was disappointed. You can see it right here. It was just a disappointment. Again, it's one of the few rare occasions where I felt Mattel or Hot Wheels chose the wrong paint for the Silvia and truck, and what should be a magnificent set, I'll just leave it at that. I will say though, I like the trailer. I like the details, but the paint itself, this black, gotta go. I'm sorry. It was just really disappointing to see that. And a premium release shouldn't have this shabby of a quality of a paint job. It's like it was just applied and painted all over. Again, I mean, you could see it underneath on the wheels. It's just, ugh. Okay, next one to review. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and review this one. I just want to get it out of the way because it's another Matchbox one that I highly recommend. And it's probably on the pegs of many stores right now. So this is part of the 70th anniversary release. And for those of you who are not familiar with Matchbox, the company originated back, in England. Pretty much from Leslie Products, and the molders were John W. Jack Odell, Leslie Charles Smith, and Rodney Smith. So the Leslie name came from Leslie and Rodney, but for the other molder, Odell, he wanted to create a toy for his daughter that could fit inside a Matchbox, as the school would only allow toys that fit in the size of a Matchbox. So he created and crafted this scaled down version of a vehicle that could fit in a Matchbox, and it was a green and red diesel road roller, which would become the first Matchbox vehicle, die-cast mini vehicle created in that scale. There were several scale versions, like there was a 1A, 1B, 1C, and it looks like they were really trying to get this, I guess you could say they're trying to experiment with 50 millimeters, 56 millimeters, 64 millimeters, 69 millimeters, and so forth. Yeah, let me see if I could get this image here. Okay, this one came from eBay, but this is the original Matchbox series. This is one of them. But as you can see, the red rollers, the green. Well, for the 70th anniversary, they released a roller. And what I find very interesting is that it pays homage to the original 1953 to 1955 releases. for the 70th anniversary. And they did one in 1993. They made like a blue and red version of it. But this one is the green and red with a little bit of gold like the original ones. But this one's a modern interpretation of that. And of course, you have countries focusing on infrastructure. This modern version features a roller that's great for ground compaction and instrumental in construction sites and so forth. But I just looked at it and I said, wow, this is a wonderful modern homage to the original release. And one thing that's really interesting is that the original would have this sticker that says Aveling Harford Diesel Roller in red and white. But now this one, let's see if I can get a bigger one here. Here we go. You got the Streetworks Diesel Roller, Lower East, Southfield, and London. You got the Matchbook City. You got the steps, the number 5. I thought that was a very good touch, and they retained the lion from that original. Well, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more modernized, but they have that, and they got these chunky tires with the red. And there are rollers that don't use the double drum. They use some of them that use these type of they use the wheel version. But for the most part, you can see that little gold here. There's no person, but you do have the red seating and the dashboard right there. But I'm glad that they modernized it and not make a exact version, because really if people want the exact versions, they can get the original or buy the 1993 40th anniversary releases. But I have to say, the 70th anniversary is a wonderful homage to that. And I know while collectors will no doubt want the original road roller for their collection, I have to say the 70th anniversary is quite magnificent. It's one of those vehicles that really shouldn't be a peg warmer, but considering more and more people in today's die-cast metal mini car collecting are mostly into super treasure hunts or chase cars or sports cars, these vehicles tend to get bypassed, these construction type vehicles. But for those of you who do collect Matchbox, just know this is an homage to the very first Matchbox vehicle release. So knowing that, I hope you can pick one up, because it's really nicely well done. It's red and green. It's not a fantasy vehicle. It's the original was red and green, and there are red and green construction vehicles in England, and especially for rollers. So definitely know that this is a wonderful release. Modern molding, overall look is simply magnificent, and it's a true 70th anniversary release. Again, not to say the 1993 40th anniversary was bad, but the 70th anniversary is so much better. Hey everyone, so this concludes episode number 6 of the Tomica Podcast Edition. And, I just want to say that, I thank everyone for their support, but also, everyone has different perspectives when it comes to collecting die-cast metal vehicles. And I presented the Japanese version or Japanese perspective I shared through many Tomica blogs from collectors, and also how things are in the US and probably other countries. But what it comes down to is everyone has their own differences on what they're interested in terms of collecting. If there are people who are in it for the money, then so be it. Because this is not the only case where you're going to see that happen. You'll see people who do the same thing with collector cards, shoes, you name it. So there are people who will do that to make a quick buck, or to, maybe it's their way of making money. They may not have a job and they need something to supplement their income, and this is a cheaper way to do it. So it's understandable. And as I mentioned, before, personally, I don't care, because Um, you know, I'm a Tomica collector. I do collect Hot Wheels. I do collect Matchbox, but um, I know the reality already from not just from this, from these releases, but even from the past. Not everyone's going to get what they want, and it just depends on Mattel's distribution, because I know everyone's looking for the Boulevards, the Nissan set, the Godzilla, all these other ones, but it just comes down to what the distribution is, because different areas get different types of cases. Second, you have to be a person that's diligent in seeking out for those cases, and that's something that where a lot of people can't afford to do such things. A lot of people have their planned schedules of going visiting all the Walmarts, all the Targets, all the Dollar Trees, Dollar Generals, Hobby Lobbies, you name it. But is that the time and effort that you really want to put into that? For me, if I want a Hot Wheels that came out in for, let's say, a Skyline or whatever, you could go to Amazon Japan. Sure, you're going to be paying a little bit more, maybe $1 more, but that's up to you if you really want that car that badly. If you don't, then not get it at all. But if you really want a JDM or a Japanese vehicle, I suggest going for Tomica and ordering it from Amazon Japan or eBay, or a seller that sells Japanese merchandise online. If the shipping is good, if it's affordable, then hey, go for it. Second, I also want to recommend that Matchbox has always been something that with Tomica has always been linked to, because people say that Tomica closely identifies with Matchbox in terms of releases and trying to make vehicles similar to the real thing. And I think we've seen Matchbox lose steam. Yes, Mattel owns both Hot Wheels, and its rival is now part of Mattel. But the thing is that one should not consider Matchbox as inferior. Sure, they put a lot of designers, they put a lot of money and effort into marketing Hot Wheels. And personally, I really do wish they take a different approach to it, and to see what in a way, I think competition would be healthy. In Japan, you probably heard of Seiko watches, right? Well, Seiko is also it's part of an umbrella group, but also under the umbrella group is Orient. And Orient watches have been around even longer than Seiko. And when Seiko bought Orient, they decided to have them, become separate. Seiko decided to go for more of a luxurious line, more expensive line, while their Orient became more for the budget friendly. One of the problems that you see with Mattel with their Hot Wheels and Matchbox is that they're similarly priced, but yet people feel that the packaging is blah. The orange package versus the Hot Wheels package. I think that's something that they've always identified with those colors, but I hear you. I get it. I've collected both, even in the past. As much as you try to root for for Matchbox, being one of the being older than both Hot Wheels and Tomica, Matchbox was really, top of the line back then. And then all of a sudden, it just started to lose steam. And then when Mattel took it over, I don't want to say continue to lose steam, but the thing is that their approach has been different. Yes, Mattel has released Japanese versions, box versions in Japan, but as many Tomica collectors would say, as much as they enjoyed those sets, Mattel they glued the boxes, so if you open it, you damage the box. Whereas Tomica boxes, you could just, open it, there's no glue, no tape. Yes, it comes with a plastic wrapping, but once you remove that plastic wrapping, you could just slide it in, just close the cardboard box easily. There's no problem with that. But with Mattel releases, they're very good. I like them, especially with the 70th anniversary release. I like what they're producing. I like what's coming out. But I also know at the same time is that Mattel is pretty much focusing on their Hot Wheel line. And of course, you got the Boulevards, you got the Fast and the Furious, there's just so many versions of Hot Wheels out right now. Various, series, there's just so many. And on top of that, you have so many cars that are being released. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. What works for Tomica and works for many Japanese works for them. What works in America, I think maybe I don't know what the idea and the thought of why they don't release less. I think perhaps they're thinking maybe that shelves won't look as bare if they keep on releasing a lot. But then when you release a lot, and especially for Hot Wheels doing a lot of experimentation, from toilet bowl trucks to toast bread trucks and all these really wild out ideas, you get a lot of peg warmers, and this is one thing I don't like about Hot Wheels as of late, is the inconsistency of the quality. You can have a main line where they really go out in their paints and the design and the molds, but sometimes the paints are just simplistic. I just recently wrote about the Porsche Carrera, and for such a for the 911, for something that is so iconic, I don't know why, but Hot Wheels, while they did a good job on the side with the way you show the Carrera and so forth, the rear and the details is just really plain. And it's weird because in other vehicles, they really go all out. You would think for licensed cars, they would put that much, work into it, unless they want you to go for the premium line, and that's understandable. But sometimes this inconsistency of certain designs of certain vehicles, some that look way better than others, is just unusual. And I don't know how they decide, well, this vehicle will go all out and paint in the paint and detail, while this one we can just keep it plain and we'll just save it for the premium line. I don't know if it goes that way or what. I guess one good thing about it, let's say that using the Porsche 911 Carrera RS 2.7 as an example, it gives people who like customization and modding to mess around with it, I suppose. But I just I don't know. It's just with Hot Wheels, they do make a lot of quality vehicles. It's just that the consistency is off the board sometimes. Even this Porsche, like I mentioned, this Porsche Carrera, even though it's the details are somewhat not existing, even the paint is off balance. The words Porsche is crooked, and I'm like, what the heck? So there's some quality concerns, but at the same time, it's hard to complain when they're releasing something for $1.25, and they have a premium line which you could go for other cars, for better detail, much better detail. But then when you get something like that Sylvia, which came with a transport with the fugly paint, it just makes you scratch your head. And it's like, what kind of premium quality is this? This is terrible. But I'm not saying that as being, saying, oh, he's saying that because he's a Tomica fanboy. That's not the point. I've been collecting Hot Wheels and Matchbox for a very long time. I've had it in my collection for a long time. It's just the thing is that, when I took the hiatus and focused on Tomica, now focusing primarily on Tomica, I like to pick up the cars that I'm interested in, and also, for me, part of the fun is also doing the research involved into these vehicles and knowing more about them, and also trying to take pictures of them, using the macro lens and also putting it near a diorama. I think that stuff is really fun. But again, everyone has different reasons for collecting, and if you, whatever it may be to collect it for the love of collecting die-cast metal vehicles, or for the love of just trying to make a quick buck. Whatever floats your boat, that's up to you. But the thing is that I just want to see some consistency, and I would like to see more of a competition between Matchbox and Hot Wheels. Imagine having designers really go all out against each other. Veterans, and even the newbies of designers. You can't have everything dedicated to Hot Wheels and then just leave your Mattel, your Matchbox line, lingering. For Matchbox, this is an important 70th anniversary, and as you've seen, that roller was wonderful. The Datsun, or the cycle runner, was actually very good. But the thing is that I would like to see more consistency, and also for each company to push each other to make something even better. With Takara Tomy, even with the trains, the creator of Tomica, they have their Tomix line, and they have other competitors such as Kato, and Kato is like one of the well-known train makers in Japan, and they really there is competition there. There's respective competition, and there are other train companies that make model trains as well. And it's the same thing when it comes to these die-cast metal. We're seeing Majorette, we're seeing Maisto, we're seeing even these smaller companies, up-and-coming companies from all over. There's some stuff I'm seeing from China that are really nice as well. So it's just, it just depends, what you're interested in. Tomica, for me, is the Japanese vehicles. Maybe the Elfs, the Fusos, the Skylines, the Supras, you name it. I just like it, and it's so inbred in Japanese culture. Who would imagine that a Skyline would be used for, GTR Skyline would be used as a patrol car? Those are just some examples right there. It's just really far out, but that's how Japan is. You go see a vehicle, that's how it is over there. And I kind of like that. I like the overall design and the overall look of Japanese K cars and sports cars, and I enjoy that. But I also enjoy the stuff that's coming out, in from Hot Wheels and Matchbox. But as long as that there's consistent quality and ease of people, getting them, that makes me happy as a collector. Because it's one thing for us, for us adults who can't afford to go to a department store or another, multiple stores during the weekend or during your lunchtime. That's one thing, but there's just no way, normal consumers can win and get those things when you have people who are buying everything. And again, when I talk to people, they say, "Well, I'm not a scalper. I do it as so I could get it for my friends." And I understand that. That's totally understandable. So then you try to look into it. Why are people being left out of getting things? Is it the distribution? Is it a distribution problem? And those are things you kind of have to look at. Mattel is such a big company, but the thing is that there's nothing wrong for calling them out for something that they have control over. And why are certain things coming out in one side of the country and not the other? Who knows? Why are older vehicles being mixed in boxes for shipments? Who knows? Why are there inconsistency with paint issues with their vehicles? Who knows? But the thing is that, like with any company or anyone that produces products, because they have a major foothold, doesn't mean you can let them off. Maybe Apple with their iPhones or Microsoft with their software. You have every right to to question things. The good, you could bring up the good and the bad, and if anything, it's good to have healthy competition, and I hope they figure out how to bring that back and make Matchbox great again. Matchbox is doing a great job with the 70th anniversary. It's just unfortunate that people don't realize that. And as for the Hot Wheels collectors who are looking for JDM, my recommendation is just go Tomica. It's unfortunate, but you're going to have to compete with people, with scalpers and people who are in major groups with friends doing power buys so they can do some major trades. It's just not even worth it anymore. Just go to Amazon Japan or eBay or somewhere and just order Tomica. You won't be disappointed at all. Tomica makes quality vehicles, and it's just a quality line that you won't see in the U.S. Maybe once in a while. But the thing is that the good news is that you do not have to, hold off and wait. You can just order it and get it within 3 days from now. You may have to pay a little more with that shipping, but if you can pay a lot, not pay a lot, but purchase more than one or several, it really works out. So anyway, just a food for thought. Some things we talked about, something to think about, and I do have the love for this for die-cast metal vehicles. It's something that's been around for generations, and something that children and people of all ages can enjoy. But somehow, I don't know, there's just something about what's going on right now with the collecting of these die-cast metals vehicles that just doesn't. It's just unfair. It's just not right. And I think maybe they release so many vehicles thinking, oh well, people will still have access to Hot Wheels, but it's not what the Hot Wheels that everyone else is after. And that's the problem. You want to give people equal chance of getting these, but it's not going to happen in this current climate. Again, if you really want Japanese vehicles, go for Tomica. You have easier access now more than ever to get them. Granted, maybe not kids who could only spend $1.25 or so, but if you're a parent, you could probably order some on overseas, or if you're a collector, you can order them overseas easily, especially through Amazon Japan. If you are looking for Hot Wheels that you cannot get in your country, especially in the United States. You can order them from Amazon, maybe UK, maybe Japan, France, Germany. You have that option as well. As you can see here, Skylines, 315 yen. And some of these are older ones. So you shouldn't, you shouldn't worry too much, because what may not be available in your country, there's no hurt of getting it from another country. You may have to pay a little bit more, maybe $1 or $2 more, and I know that may suck, but if you really want it, you'll definitely go for it. So, yeah, my feeling is that if I'm not gonna ever have a chance to get a Boulevard or a Godzilla, it may not happen in the U.S., but I'll probably order it some other country. Packaging is not going to be defer that much. I mean, you're not going to be so different, but the way I look at it is, if I want the vehicle and open it up and use, it's all good. So I have no complaints over that. And I know there's some people, again, who are concerned about the boxes and the packaging, but it's just what type of collector you are. Again, Tomica releases, they still maintain their value even without the package. Hot Wheels, maybe not so much, but it's all about perception and what people are looking for. So anyway, that should be it. I hope everyone had I hope everyone has a good weekend. And if you are going out to buy some cars, have fun. I hope you get what you're looking for. And you take care. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.